Hi, everybody.
Hello there.
I'm Jerry.
And I'm Linda.
We're the Newcomers. Today's show is a show about emotion, about the excitement of buying a new house. It swept over us when we came here.
It really did. We were so excited to buy a new home. And many people do that. They get here and they go, wow, I saw this home. It's great. And guess what happens?
Looking back at it, we were so lucky that we didn't make any mistakes. You're going to meet some people that have done the same thing. Bought a home here, sight unseen. So we're going to welcome some of these people. We don't know them. We put out the call on Facebook. They volunteered to come and talk about their experience, and we are so thrilled to have them. So let's get our first people in here right now. Welcome, Donna.
Thank you. I'm glad to be with you.
Donna's from Louisiana, and she bought a home here sight unseen. How the heck did that happen?
I saw a video in January a year ago, and I just started looking at more videos, and I convinced my husband to come on a visit. We did a lifestyle visit in July, and we were here. I already knew I wanted to live here. We were here one day, and we were ready to sign off.
Do you remember that first time that you pulled into probably Brownwood and you saw those golf carts? What did you think?
I was amazed. I just thought it was the neatest thing in the world. It was great.
Now, from Louisiana, you're used to the heat.
Correct.
But did you leave family back there?
We did. I have 2 sons and 4 grandsons. But we thought Louisiana is not that far away, and we can go visit anytime we like, and they can come here anytime they like. And there's lots to do here for a visit, so I think they would find it enjoyable.
And you came here on a lifestyle visit?
Yes.
Did you stay in Brownwood?
Yes.
And you looked at a bunch of houses?
Correct.
Did you look at new and pre-owned or only new?
We looked at a few pre-owned homes, but then determined that we would like to buy a new house.
And what model did you settle on?
We purchased the Anchor 5, but that we had not seen that house on our visit. We had not seen that model.
So you were really shooting in the dark.
Yes.
What kind of things were you looking for? Even though you were looking from afar, you knew some things that were on your list. What was on your list?
I knew that whatever house we chose, it was going to be a well-built house. So we were looking for a golf cart garage, so 2 cars and a golf cart. And we wanted to have a fenced yard, and we needed to have 3 bedrooms.
And you found all those things?
Correct. It's called a cottage villa.
Cottage villa, okay. Mm-hmm. And what do you think is the neatest thing about that house?
I like the floor plan. And it has a lot of closets. Well, to me, compared to a lot of homes here, it has a good closet space.
Well, that's important. Have you had any surprises like road noise or any other things that have popped up that you thought, wow, I wish I had known that before I bought?
We're really happy with our house. And I know there's not everything is perfect, but there's not anything that makes me wish I'd have made a different decision. We live close to the turnpike, and you can hear it. It's not obtrusive, though. I mean, it doesn't really bother us. The one thing I would say if I had to pick anything would be our lanai faces west. So it's really hot. But I think I can remedy that. We planted some trees. We got some shades on our lanai. And
that could be a big problem. We did a show recently on west-facing lanais because
hot.
We have one, and it does get hot. Do you have a pet? I know you said you wanted a fence.
No, we do not have a pet. We just like the privacy of a backyard.
And you're hoping it keeps the alligators out.
I'm not really worried about the alligators.
How about your activities?
Well, my husband is unexpectedly still working, so I have joined a few clubs. We joined the Louisiana Club, and I like decorating, so I joined the decorating club, and we walk a lot. There's a lot of nice walking paths around, and we feel like even though we're really south. We are in a good proximity to a few of the squares. It's only like 20 minutes to Brownwood, only about 20 minutes to Sawgrass. And so I feel real happy with our location.
Well, wonderful. So you feel good about the purchase, no regrets.
No, no regrets.
And this is a year-round home.
Correct.
So you really jumped in like we did.
Yes.
You went in full speed ahead, and you're what they call a frog now. You're going to be here
Yes.
till you croak.
That's right.
That's the plan anyway.
Correct.
Well, Donna, thank you for sharing that with us. We are so glad that you're happy. It's like I tell people, we spent way more money for our house than I ever wanted to spend. It's such a leap of faith that it worked out for us. It worked out for you. And thank you for coming and sharing with us.
Thank you for having me.
Hi, David.
Hello.
David's from Austin, Texas, and he bought a new home in the village of Newell, sight unseen, sort of. Can you explain that to us?
Our journey started about 10 years ago or more. We bought a new neighborhood in Austin, Texas, and met our neighbors and became fast friends. And as it turned out, they lived in the villages for a while, and they ended up away from the grandkids and wanted to move back. So they left and went back to Shreveport, Louisiana. But it kind of intrigued our, lit a fire in us to find out what it was all about. So at the time, they were running these ads on TV, and you would call in and get a brochure packet or whatever about the villages. And back then, it came with a DVD. So not like today. I probably still have it somewhere. So we watched the DVD and fell in love with it, and then business changed, and I started a new business and was traveling back and forth to China quite a bit. So it just wasn't going to fit in the schedule, if it were. And then about a year and a half ago, we sold the business and finally said, let's go see what it's all about. So a year and a half ago, we did a lifestyle visit for a week, had a realtor, tour guide, with golfing, shows, all that stuff. And we just absolutely fell in love with it. Unfortunately, the timing wasn't exactly right. And then finally this last spring, we decided the time was right to put our house on the market. And Austin's a super hot market, and it sold within 6 days. And we panicked and had no idea what to do. The good news is it sold for full price, and we did extremely well. We're very fortunate, very, very fortunate. And so we packed up the car the next day after it closed. We drove here with a realtor. We knew the area that we were looking because we look at the website every day. We watch Jerry and Linda every Monday and Thursday. And we came with a map with 5 homes on it that my wife did. And we went to those 5 homes. And we knew the floor plan, the area, that sort of thing. And I was very quiet, letting her do everything. And at the end of the 5, I really hadn't said much, and the realtor was looking at me going, all right, I got more to show. And I said, let's go back to number 3. So we went back to number 3, and we were into this about an hour and a half, and walked around a minute. And there was another couple in the house. And I asked her if she liked it. She goes, I love it. And I said, well, can we talk about it tonight and maybe come back tomorrow? I'm not really used to spending $500,000 in an hour. And it's not really doesn't fit real well with me. And so he said, well, you can. I said, what's the odds of it being here? And he goes, 50-50. And so I walked around a little bit more, and I said, okay, write it up. And I think it kind of shocked him. And he got on his little laptop, started writing stuff down, and called the lady at the office and said, put his name on it, and we'll write some more stuff down. Called her back and said, in his name, and sign here. We signed there, and he goes, okay, it's yours. Well, come to find out, the people that were in the house live in the villages, and they were in their own golf cart without a realtor, but they were heading back to Brownwood to the sales office to go tell their realtor to put it under contract. And so the joke is, apparently Wi-Fi goes faster than a golf cart.
Wow, though, don't you hate that when you see something in a store or something you want and somebody else is looking at it? And then those emotions kick in, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, it was part emotional. I didn't want to lose it for one, but we knew what we wanted. We had tightened our search down so far. We knew a couple of streets we were looking at, the exact location, the floor plan. We would rather have a view, but those weren't available. Those all went to custom homes. So we kind of, well, I say we call this our starter home, but after moving for the last week, we may stay for a while.
Well, you sold your home. It's like climbing out on a limb, and then you're out there. You got to do something.
We were homeless.
So you were homeless, and you found a home that checked a lot of the boxes.
No.
Now, what is the house plan you bought?
I don't know. I know the one. Well, the one we were actually looking at was, and they changed the names, but it's the same floor plan. The one we were focused on was a mossy oak originally. I think it's a Dove now, down in Newell. 3-bedroom, 3-bath. And it looks good on paper, but when I walked into it, it just wasn't. It's like the coach used to say. We look good on paper, but it's played on the field. So you kind of got to get inside and look at it.
That mossy oak is a beautiful home.
It's nice.
It's one of the homes that we like. If we have an aspen, mossy oak's generally a little bigger. You've got the high ceilings in the mossy oak a lot of times. It's a beautiful house. But in the end, you like what you got.
We do. I mean, the one thing that we really liked was the flat lanai. I mean, not the lanai, the island. It's got a giant island on it with cabinets on the front side facing the living room. They extended the lanai 4 feet, so we have a 14 by 27 foot lanai, so it's really, really big. The living room is huge. It's only 3-bedroom, 2-bath, but it does have the golf cart garage. So we have a lot of space to work with. We sold most of our furniture because our house was a lot bigger in Austin. It's not going to fit. So now we're in lawn chairs and for a few days.
Those flat countertops, they are so popular now. We redid our kitchen, but we did not go to the flat because sometimes I'll stack up dishes and they don't look good when you have company come in. So you have that little wall kind of hide your sink a little bit. But we do like those flat countertops, and they seem to be huge. It's like a big island.
Giant. You can't reach across it. We had the one like you with the bridge on it in Austin, and my sister built a house with this flat one, and we just fell in love with it. So you put stools on one side, so you can cook while you have people there, visit with them, talk to them, that sort of thing.
So how long have you been here now?
Today's number 5.
5 days.
Yes.
So we'll revisit with you in 6 months or so maybe and see if you still love it. Have you started any activities yet?
Not yet. We've, barely got stop tripping over boxes right now. But I texted my wife earlier, if we just put the Christmas stuff and a few other things up in the attic, we'd get rid of half of what we're staring at. But it's going to get there. We lived in another house for almost 20 years. So there's a lot we should have thrown away more than we did, but whatever.
So are you a golfer?
Well, big time.
Going to play a lot of golf.
Yeah.
And your wife is working today. I want to applaud you on this situation. Very good planning for you to let the wife keep working.
It's a benefits thing. She's a little younger than I am. I've got everything paid for now. I retired in August of last year. If it's just for insurance primarily. She may look at the opportunities here in the villages, particularly in the sales center. We talked to them the other day. But if it wasn't for health insurance, she wouldn't be. But we're going to visit that. We'll see.
Okay. You're in the village of Newell, and you've been there 5 days. Any surprises? You bought in the heat of the moment, and you're fairly happy with your buy, but is there anything looking at it now that you think, I'm not sure about this or that? It's
not really a negative, but you've got to travel a little ways for groceries, restaurants, things like that. Sawgrass is not too far away, but the Publix is, 10, 15 minutes. There's really nothing down there yet. It's not a build it and they will come kind of thing. It's you come and then we'll build it. So
that was a drawback for us. Finney was built.
Yeah.
And beautiful homes, but the infrastructure wasn't really built. Linda's got to have her shopping, and there wasn't a grocery store close.
Yeah.
So that's why we kind of insisted on a pre-owned home to be a around
it's
that.
interesting, on our very first visit, the hammock at Penny Hammock, whatever it's called, we focused on that. And we actually found a lot that overlooked the golf course, the new Red Bud or whatever it's called. Beautiful. Out the back door, you looked at water and golf course. It was gorgeous. But we wrote a check and said, we'll go home and think about it. It was just a down payment of like 10 grand. And we got home. Well, the lot was $250,000.
Holy cow.
Yeah. And so by the time, and my goal was to not have a mortgage. For the first time in 50 years, I don't have a mortgage. And I started putting pen to paper, and we're still going to have a mortgage, to do this, because I only have X number of dollars in the bucket, and I'm going to spend more than that to build this house with a lot premium of that. And so we were able to get in on this one after we sold our house, and paid cash for it, and had money left over to buy golf carts and furniture and stuff like that. So we're in the golf cart looking business right now.
Yeah.
But it worked out much better to wait, to get what we did.
Well, I'm glad you're happy so far. A lot of times when you have an important decision, they say sleep on it. But if you sleep on it here, you snooze, you lose. Yeah.
No,
But
and
you're
we
happy?
would have. Apparently, I know what they say, but there's a decent chance we would have lost it. And so we're really, really glad we did. We've already met our first neighbor in 30 minutes. When we're hauling, sweating, they knock on the door. Hey.
Wow, good.
But we've corresponded with people. Our first block party is on the 23rd of June for people that haven't finished buying yet. They've already set it up. There's a coworker of my wife's who lives in the Villages that is in a golf group. He texted her last night that they have an opening on Monday and has invited me to play golf with them on Monday.
Oh, good.
So we're, slowly, we'll get there.
Well, listen, thank you so much for coming in today. We really appreciate it. You bought with a little emotion. You bought quickly, but after 5 days, you're happy.
Couldn't be happier.
And tired, probably.
Terribly.
So thank you, David, for coming in. We really appreciate it.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Jerry. Thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun meeting you guys.
This is Ryan. Ryan bought sight unseen. He's from California. Were you nervous as all get out?
Scared to death, actually. I mean, that's a long way to go from California, sight unseen. And, but I've been watching the Villages now for a couple years, and then I heard about it through a friend, and that's what got me interested in it. And then we started watching your videos, and we watched you guys faithfully for about a year. And I kept asking Chuck, I was like, oh, you got to check this place out. I mean, it's fantastic. And so he started looking, and he was like, oh, well, maybe, we could check it out. And so I called the Villages that got me in touch with the real estate agent. His name is Chris Jansen. He was awesome. He helped me out so much, and he took a lot of the pressure off of us as far as moving. He answered all of our questions, looked exactly for the home and stuff we wanted. But yeah, it was nervous.
So you're in California.
Yeah.
You've fallen in love with the idea of the Villages. You've watched some video. You have an idea what you want in a house. What kind of home were you looking for?
Well, we had 2 dogs, and we have 2 fairly decent-sized dogs, goldendoodles. And so we wanted they were used to having a dog door. So I was like, oh, gosh, where do we move in the Villages? Because I heard, they didn't have fenced yards. And from watching your videos, you said if there wasn't a fence, you couldn't add them. And then we discovered these verandas, which have these beautiful private backyards. And that's what we were used to. So now we have a place for the dogs to go outside. I don't have to worry about them. I guess when people don't live in Florida, we always have this fear of alligators and stuff. So that sort of eased my fears of that.
And you've been here, I think, for months now.
Since November.
Okay.
We closed in September.
To let the viewers know, you contacted us probably back in December or January.
Correct.
And you had brought a present for Linda.
I did.
And you
Away from
brought her an
California.
amazing turtle, and we showed it on one of our shows. We held it up and showed the viewers. This beautiful turtle made the trip all the way from California, and we have it hanging on our wall now. So thank you so much for
You're
that.
welcome. I have one identical to it. I bought two. I said, well, I got to take one for Sherry and Linda.
Well, that is so great. Now, you're here. What was the name of the house plan that you ended up with?
We ended up, I originally looked at a Hudson, originally. And then when I talked to Chris, I was like, he showed us, he did a video walkthrough with us. And I seen some power lines and stuff that I was concerned about. And he was like, oh, well, let me show you this other one. And it was called a Livingston. He said, it's my favorite model. You're going to love it. And he said, it's exactly what you're looking for anyway. And I said, okay. So he went over there. It's just a short distance around the block into Luna. And it literally was on the market for 4 minutes. And that's how quick we snagged this up. The homes during that time were going so quickly. And so, like I said, it was just a blessing in disguise. Chris was great.
So is that a villa?
It is it's basically a designer home. It's
Okay.
a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It's roughly just shy of 2,300 square feet.
Oh, my goodness.
So it's a nice size, 10-foot
Yeah.
ceilings throughout.
And do you have that doggy door?
We are. Right now, we are getting the lanai enclosed in glass. So it's coming. It's on the way. And right now, we have demolition in the backyard, totally redesigning that. So
Well, today's show is quite a bit of the focus is about the emotion and buying either sight unseen or spur of the moment. So you never laid eyes on your house.
No.
Just, it was literally on the market for 4 minutes before
4 minutes.
you bought it.
correct. Never been on a lifestyle visit to the villages. Never been here. Like I said, I watched videos. For over a year, we've been watching you. And I was like, oh man, every time I watch you guys are just having so much fun. I was like, and every other video that I watched, it's like everyone else is having fun. I was like, man, this is contagious. Like, it is just that kind of community, and it's what we were looking for. I mean, we didn't have a lot to do in California.
Have you found that your neighbors are friendly and outgoing?
We have the best, I must say, I have the best neighborhood ever. I've got the best neighbors. I've got the best neighbor that lives behind me. I know Diane's a good friend of your guys. And gosh, what a cook, what a baker, right, with those cupcakes. And yeah, so I'm lucky.
Now, I don't think we've told the viewers yet. What neighborhood are you in?
I'm in DeLuna.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, so many things can go wrong in your situation.
Yes.
You were excited, it was far away, you'd never been here, you had an agent that you trusted,
Correct.
but now you're here.
Yes.
Has anything been disappointing or alarming, or something has, popped up that you didn't expect or like?
No, in fact, the opposite. I feel like I've struck gold. I really do. And I don't know. I hear a lot of people talk about, oh, south of 44, they're questioning about living close to the turnpike and all. I'm telling you, where we live in DeLuna, it's tucked away. I never hear anything. So I was nervous about that at first. I thought, that's fairly close. But Jerry, it is just the perfect home and the perfect location. It's tucked away back there. And I love that the 301 is right there. I know Finney and DeLuna both have access to the 301. And that's convenient. I didn't realize how convenient that was. So I feel like I struck gold.
Now, we find ourselves in Wildwood quite a lot. Linda, of course, volunteers at a thrift store over there, and we frequent my barber's over there. There's a couple of nice restaurants right there, the post office, Ace Hardware. So
Yep.
there's a lot of neat things within a short drive of your house. So we are just tickled to death that you love it so much.
I am. I just love it. I can't wait to see what they develop further south, because I feel like I've sort of made my path in the middle, because I know they keep developing. So I was like, this is great. Great location.
Well, thank you so much for coming in to see us. Please tell Chuck hello for us.
Sure
And we'll
will.
look forward to an update in a year or so and see how life's treating you then.
That sounds great. Thank you.
This is Laura and Tim. They are from Arizona, and they've bought a home in the village of Hadley. They went the pre-owned route. Sight unseen, brave people, But they're not rookies because they're both real estate agents. In fact, you owned your own real estate company.
We did in Tucson, Arizona. Yes, so we're pretty comfortable with purchasing properties. Obviously, now this was for ourselves, so it definitely put a spin on that a little bit. But we looked for, oh gosh, what do you think? Maybe 9 months before we actually secured a property, and we made 11 offers sight unseen. So, and that is because the market was so quickly going up when we were purchasing, and also because our needs changed. At first we thought we were going to buy a vacation property and there would be 11 or 12 offers on the property at one time, and we really going to go 20,000 over ask for a tiny little vacation property. So we kind of over time rethought that. And so what we did is we flew out and we decided to make this a primary residency. And so then we decided, because of the tax advantages, we would look and settle here permanently. So that's kind of how it evolved into 11 offers and finally finding our perfect property.
It's nice to talk to you since you're realtors. Is this crazy or what here?
Well, yeah, we were going through something similar in Tucson, but in fact, when we sold our property, we had 14 offers, and it went 150,000 over ask. So it wasn't something that we were unfamiliar with. It just wasn't that fun participating in it from the buy side.
From the selling side,
It was awesome.
Good.
It was totally awesome. Yeah.
So you live in Hadley. Our viewers should know that Hadley is sort of halfway between Brownwood and Sumter, maybe a little closer to Sumter. It's where they've had the big Christmas light
I
show
know,
for
and we
years.
missed that. Apparently, what was it? Those donations were stolen out of some sort of a storage facility.
They had a bad experience, and a couple of years ago they stopped it, but it was neat. Probably just dozens and dozens of homes all synchronized, and you drove a little parade route. Really nice. But Hadley's pretty. We've been up there.
We love it. It could have been a whole bunch of different neighborhoods. Tim did a lot of research to figure out exactly geographically where we were going to end up in the villages. And so we had a whole list of very precise spots that we were willing to move to, and we gave that to our villages realtor, along with 2 pages single-spaced of other things we wanted to have about our house. So it really, buying sight unseen is kind of really evolving your exact desires down to very specific lists, so your realtor has enough feeling about you and how you work in order to be able to purchase.
Okay, let's hear those must-haves.
Well, they were kind of crazy. So I needed a flat finished lanai because I have 7 sewing machines. I sew a huge amount, and so I had to have a big space. But I couldn't take the guest room because I have a grandbaby, and my husband still needs an office. And as you know, it's really hard to get more than 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms here. And so that alone was difficult. And then we wanted a lantana, because the lantana typically comes with a 3-car garage, and because we're in our 50s, we were bringing all of our toys. And so that's another huge issue. And then we were coming from high vaulted ceilings, so we wanted that. We wanted no one behind. See how the list is evolving?
The list gets
We didn't want worn cabinets or worn granite. We were willing to do flooring. We were willing to paint the inside, the outside. We were even willing to do a roof, which we did end up doing. But we wanted the landscaping mature, and we wanted it all done. So we had quite a big list, and our realtor did learn, and we used to film and actually look at the cabinets, look at the wear. So he really was wonderful.
Okay, you opened this can of worms, so let me dig in here with. You put a new roof on in the last 6 months. You've been here since July.
We put a new roof on 2 weeks ago.
Okay, perfect. If you don't mind, tell our viewers your home was. Did you say 2,000-ish square feet?
Our home is 2,300 square
Okay.
feet with that finished lanai. And are you asking me how much it costs?
That's what I'm
I
asking.
knew you were leading up to that.
$19,000.
Okay, a new roof was 19,000. Is that tearing off everything?
Yeah, that's tearing everything off.
New drip edge.
So a complete new roof.
And by the way, we didn't need the roof. There was nothing wrong with the current roof. As you can imagine, at 15 years, it was strictly to stay insured.
Absolutely. That's why I asked that question, because this is the hot topic. When homes reach a certain age, insurance companies are either not renewing or jacking the price up.
How much did it go up? Do you remember how much? It was kind of shocking how much our insurance went up. I think it almost doubled.
Well, yeah, that's what caused the whole thing was our insurance, I think, more than doubled. So we switched insurance companies, but our roof is coming up to that dreaded 15-year age.
Yeah.
And so we hear that once it hits 15, it's nearly impossible to get insured. So we went ahead and did the new roof, even though we didn't have any leaks or problems with the existing roof.
You know, it's funny, our home is 7 years old, and I'm already dreading that,
Yeah.
the 12 or 15-year mark, depending on which company you have. And we'll have to, do the same thing. And it's not like people can't afford a new roof. It's just that you bought a home with 30-year shingles. Why do you have to replace them after 15 years?
Well, and when we started looking almost 2 years ago for a property, kind of just toying with the idea of buying a vacation property. And at that time, it was 20 years. So the insurance company said, you can keep your roof for 20 years and we'll still insure you. So in between that time, 5 years was shaved off that already. And you had to, and so when we moved in our property, we had budgeted to put a new roof on in 5 years, but we were already having to do that roof very quickly.
Okay, so you had the check sheet for your realtor, and he came through.
With videos. So he knew that we would have to be FaceTimed from every single location. And God, when you think about how hard that man worked, how many times did we have to write offers? How many times did he have to film the whole neighborhood, the backyard, the front yard? And you should know that we would go into a property and he would turn on the camera and we were just, no. Or the backyard, no, so we didn't always have to see the whole property because we're pretty decisive. We're realtors. We know what we like and what we don't like. But sometimes, like this one, it needed carpet, it needed paint, it would need a roof. In our opinion, it needed light fixtures, and there were things that we would have to do, and paint the outside because it's a banana. And it was a banana inside and a banana outside. And so we were like, no banana. And so we knew the ka-ching of what we had to do when we looked at a property. So he worked very hard and made us feel very comfortable. And the other kind of secret thing about buying a house in the Villages sight unseen is what level of research are you going to be willing to do on that house as fast as humanly possible before you write the offer. And so if you wouldn't mind, I'm going to have Tim tell you about that because we actually got really, really good at that. So hang on a second.
So the big secret is Google is your friend, because what the Villages won't tell you on their maps is where the sewage plant is, where the garbage dump is. And then the third thing that we didn't know when we bought the house, but what are the feeder streets? So if your street connects to one of the busy streets like Hillsborough Trail, Pinellas, in our area it's Odell, everyone who lives in your neighborhood cuts through that street, so you're gonna have a lot of traffic. We lucked out that we don't have that problem. But that's another thing that you should be aware of. But so do Google and you'll see where the sewage plant is. And it's like, she's got a sensitive nose, so.
I don't gulp Bacall. Don't be offended, people, but I just don't gulp Bacall. It's just when it's hot, I can smell that. So I'm just.
And it's the same thing as the golf courses by the dump, you can smell. So be aware of those things because your realtor's not going to tell you, and it's not on the Villages maps.
Well, our show today is about the emotions
Yeah.
of buying sight unseen, how it plays on you, and you get the challenge. We had a person in earlier that talked about somebody else was going through the home when his realtor went over to look at it, and all of a sudden, your spider sense goes up. I've got to jump right now. I've got to act.
Competitive sense.
It's competitive, but with you're realtors. You didn't fall for that.
No.
You really dotted your I's and crossed your T's, and you worked that poor real estate agent to death.
He still likes us.
To make his $30,000
Yeah.
on your house, you know.
Yeah. But it went from, just in his, to be kind, it went from a $350, vacation purchase to almost a $700,000 purchase. So he was making progress as he was showing us properties.
I love the agents, and we have some great friends that are agents. But I look at the homes that sell in 4 minutes, like the last person knows. Or the homes that are sold before they even appear.
Well, that's how we bought our home. It was somebody prepping their home. It had been listed, but it wasn't on the market yet. And so he said, they're getting the house ready. They have about a half hour. I'll walk through the house with you. You're not going to have time to call anyone to see it for you. You're going to have to make the decision when I walk you through it. And I don't know what it's going to be like when I get in there because, the homeowner will be home. And there was another couple in there coming shortly after that as well to see it too. So they had a Villages realtor too. So that's kind of how ours was as well.
Yeah, and we talked my brother to move down here also, and he did the exact same thing.
Sight
He
unseen.
bought from the same realtor, he bought sight unseen from a house that was being prepped to come on the market.
Well, he had a secret weapon.
Yes, he had, luckily we were here.
No, we weren't here yet. He bought that sight unseen.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, we
We
didn't
weren't
see it
here.
either. The first time we saw it is when we went and brought some things over there because we brought too much here in our moving truck. And so we just put it all in his house, hope for the best.
So you've been here for about 9 months, 10
Uh-huh.
months, and have you immersed yourself into any activities?
Oh, everything. We got here and, because we're in our 50s, we're used to just really going and having a zillion things to do with work and activities. And so it was hard to relax at first. So we started a euchre group the first week we moved here. And that's been really fun. And we've made some great friends in there. Then we joined a beach group. And so once a month we go to the beach and Tim does helps with their website. And then I joined the Quilt Guild, and I joined an embroidery group, and then I do exercise classes. So I would say our schedule is
Learn to golf.
We took golf lessons and we learned to golf, and my husband plays pickleball every morning. So we're pretty busy, and we love it here. Love it. We would not live anywhere else, and we sold the active adult communities in Arizona. That was what we worked for our entire career, but we did not buy there. We bought here.
Wow.
That tells you a lot, doesn't it? That the Villages has everything.
Everything.
Well, and not only that, but we did a national tour of adult communities. So we came out, we knew all the Arizona ones. We came out, we thought the family was going to be out on the East Coast. So we started up in Virginia and came down the coast and hit every single active adult community. We went over the Margaritaville. We went to
Top of the world.
Sun City up in Georgia there on Hilton Head. And when we got here, pretty much within the first day or two, we knew it was,
We're in.
this was the place for us.
And it was a hurricane here, and we
It was-
still decided that we were going to live here.
Okay, you're in Arizona. You heard all the stories about the Villages, didn't you?
Oh, we don't believe. They say the same thing in Arizona. So whenever we would bring a client around, they would ask us how many of those, swingers or loofahs. So it's not just the Villages. That is an active adult thing.
It seems like it's just the Villages.
So it was just, although it seems like that, once you get to work the other community, it's just so dumb. It's like hard to participate in the conversation anymore. But I thought about buying a whole bunch of loofahs and hanging them over everything, just for fun.
Well, listen, you guys were so nice to come in. You've had a busy day and you still made time for us. We're glad that you're so happy.
Very happy. It makes me very happy to see that this couple is involved and they're just going and going. You may slow down, but not soon.
Yeah, I don't think so, not quite yet. We just got here.
We got to get you playing pickleball, Jerry. I don't know, how can you live in the Villages and not play
Well,
pickleball?
I've been playing pickleball a little bit. I took a tumble here a few months ago, and I didn't get hurt, but I got embarrassed really bad.
Hurt your pride a bit.
Yeah. Well, listen, thank you both for coming.
Oh, our
We
pleasure.
really do appreciate it.
Our pleasure.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.
That was fun.
That was very fun.
it's interesting to talk to these other people that did basically the same thing we did, and they're all happy.
Yeah. So, yeah, you can find happiness here.
People aren't always happy, but we ran into happy people today. If we ever run into the other, we will definitely bring them and talk with you. But it's good, and you know, some of them did a lot of homework.
They did, especially the last group of villagers. They did homework because they were realtors, and they did their homework, something we should have done as teachers.
Knowledge is power, and the more knowledge you can get about the neighborhood, the village, even the model house you want, the better off you'll be in the long run. Well, we hope you enjoyed our show today.
If you liked our video today, please press that like and subscribe button and share it with all your friends. Until next time.
See you when you get here.